Hey, it's March 9th, my birthday! Day 9 of my Compose 31 Pieces of Music in 31 Days challenge. Today I'm doing something that might stretch some of what you might consider a composition. I'm constructing the backing tracks and coming up with themes to use in my hopefully eventual live performance rig that's made up of a couple multi-track cassette recorders, and I'm going to come up with some themes to use with synthesizers and whatnot. Originally my plan was to use my 2 birthday presents from my wife to write a little fun Casio thing using my SK1 that I broke yesterday. Check out yesterday's video if you want to learn more about that, and if you're curious about a more detailed explanation of how I broke it, I've thought about releasing an in-depth video of just how bad I screwed up. Let me know if you'd want to see that. And this PT87, which is exactly like the one I had when I was a kid. Hey, so since it's my birthday, I'm going to do something I never do and say, if you've been enjoying these videos, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? It'd mean a lot to me, and let me know that you enjoy these things and inspire me to keep these going. Now I'm trying to construct the first of 2 tapes that I plan to use for this. So as I was getting set up today, I realized there's a quirk about my new multi-track cassette recorder, and that is that it doesn't work with loop tapes, which is the whole reason I bought it. Instead of being able to record a 10-second loop that happens over and over and over again, I spent over an hour today recording 4 20-minute tracks, just in case I wanted to go for 20 minutes with this drone. So I had a lot of time to sit and think. I think there's a way I can fix it, but that would require me to open up the machine, and we saw what happened when I tried to do that yesterday. Yesterday, whenever I was messing around with the Moog workstat, I only have like an octave to work with, and I decided I wanted more, so I wanted more range. So I'm dusting off the Neutron for the first time in a long time and running my Arturia key step into it, because one of the pieces I wrote earlier this month had a really nice kind of almost violin sound with a really slow attack so that everything was kind of gradual. And I like it, and that's the sound I hear in my head to lay on top of this stuff. So I'm going to try to do that, mess around, make some sounds, because originally I was going to just run my key step through Logic, but I kind of like the idea of it just being all self-contained. And the only thing that's happening with Logic is it's literally recording the signal. That's it. You know, I'm not actually that upset that I'm having to take so much longer putting this piece together. It's giving me time to just kind of sit and think and be bored. And that's important, and I don't do that enough because I'm like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. But instead, I'm sitting here, I'm having a little bit more coffee, letting the sounds kind of percolate in my brain and, you know, improvise in my head a little bit, so that maybe once the tapes are ready and I'm actually workshopping things, I am more mentally ready for it. In college, I always noticed that whenever I went into the practice room to warm up on my trumpet, if I just got the instrument out, put it straight to my face and started playing, my lips would take forever to get warmed up. But if I took the instrument out and I just sat there holding it in my lap for a little while, physiological changes happened to where blood started getting into my lips, I think, and the first sounds I made ended up being better than they would have been if I just rushed to start playing. So I'm taking that approach, letting my brain subconsciously do its thing, so that whenever I actually start working on the music, I'm primed. Well, the drone track is done, all 80 to 90 recording minutes of it. So while that was happening, I came up with a few of the motives I want to toss in the second tape. So after I do a quick check to make sure that the tracks worked correctly on tape number 1, I'll move on to that. I Just wanted to see how the 3 samples that I have on here work with the 4 that I have here. There's no melodic things happening yet. Apparently I accidentally left my camera rolling whenever I went to go eat lunch, so I filmed my synth table set up for 40 minutes in the dark. Riveting. And now my memory card is full, so I have to wait another 10 minutes while it dumps over my computer. So I guess I'll practice. So time's kind of gotten away from me, and it's already 4:30, and I haven't quite finished this. I did my first run, went pretty well for a little while, and because this whole setup is still new to me, kind of went off the rails a little bit. So what you might be seeing is kind of possibly a hybrid of a few things, and this is definitely far from the final version. But I do feel like I have a good start of elements to be using when this piece finally is done. And I am just going to leave all this stuff set up for a while, so I'm probably going to keep messing around with it for the next week or so. So maybe I will release a follow-up to this one with a more complete version of this. I actually had a good idea, like for a theme that I thought would fit this well, and then I got distracted and came back an hour later and I'd forgotten what it was. So I'm just kind of feeling around in the dark here. Well, I just got done recording what you're about to hear. And there's a few things I want to preface before you hear this. One is I was dealing with 2 synthesizers and 2 tape players, none of which have exact tuning settings. So I'm all up to the oscillator's specific tuning at any given moment, and whatever the speed of the tape player happens to be. So there's different times throughout this that the pitch gets a little bit out there. So if you have perfect pitch, there might be some moments in this that are a little bit challenging to your ear. And this is still a work in progress. I do think I've learned a lot from this. Some of the tracks I recorded didn't get used as much as I would have thought. The step sequencer was more of a hindrance than anything, so I just ended up playing it like another keyboard. It's something. It's on its way to being something. And I do feel pretty proud about some of the recordings I came up with. They'll probably make it onto an album somewhere, or at least the thing I've been working on here will probably make it onto an album. So, I don't know, I'm calling day 9 a success. I don't know if you could count it as composing a piece, but I constructed the framework for a piece. Tomorrow I plan to be back to the sort of music that you've seen me writing before, but since my synth table is set up, I might try to do another one of these before the month is up. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this stuff, there's a few other things. I'll put a link right here. I've got a few other synth table things here on YouTube, so I invite you to go check those out. So I'm going to pass it on to the recording, and I hope you enjoy day 9's piece. I don't have a name for it. See you tomorrow.